Good afternoon. Thank you for checking out my daily video. And as you know, in my daily video, I try to share interesting insights and information, content, news, studies, anything that can make us better as mortgage or real estate professionals. And I try to find content that isn't always available to everyone or that not everyone may understand. Today's, what I want to talk about today, it's the most interesting thing. I got up the other morning and as usual, I pulled up my subscription to HousingWire, and these three articles were in the daily offering. And the first one is Real Brokerage is betting big on AI to fuel organic growth in 2025. The second one, Chad Smith making better. And the third one is, revolutionizing financing, how Zillow empowers home shoppers with innovative tools. And, the interesting thing, all three of these articles on this particular day, which I believe was December 4th, all three of these articles were about how these different companies were going to try to disrupt mortgage and how they were going to try to take market share. And I had this thought, and I go, it's unbelievable how many companies and people are trying to steal our customer fairly, but trying to win our customers over and take our business. And if you're a traditional loan officer, if you're an IBM, a retail distributed loan officer, a bank loan officer, we have all sorts of forces trying to win our business. And and these three articles on this one day, and there's an article every day about someone else who wants to win our business and try to take our business. And it just, reminded me just how difficult our industry is right now. And just how committed we have to be to getting better every day to compete and win. But in the end, getting better is a good thing for the people we serve, homeowners. So that's great. What I'm going to do? I'm going to cover what these three articles, I'm going to touch on what these three articles covered, and then I'm going to try to give some encouragement because the best are always going to win. So here's the thing on Zillow. Of course, as we know, Zillow is Zillow is going to leverage their massive online portal that has, whatever it is, 2 million unique visitors a month, I think it is, some crazy number, right? They've also really, they doubled their size of the mortgage company twice, each of the last 2 years. They're now a top 50 mortgage company, which is unbelievable. And they're putting a lot of resources into technology inside a mortgage. And what they're doing is they're offering a lot of consumer tools that consumers can use on their own, and they're these tools that can empower the consumer and can inform the consumer. For example, if you're searching for a house on Zillow and you want to get mortgage information, Zillow's partnered with Down Payment Resource so that the borrower can type in just a few qualifying questions and then really quickly get a list of possible down payment assistance programs that they qualify for. And then the online tools are going to incorporate those potential down payment resources into the overall financing quote or the entire roadmap for the borrower, saying, hey, you can afford this type of house or this much if you use this program. Really educating and empowering the borrower. They're putting just a ton of money into directly touching the consumer, not only in their portal, not only in real estate, but really expanding into mortgage. And then we get to the Real Brokerage, and the Real Brokerage has just been crazy how fast it's grown. I think they have 10,000 agents now. 10,000. They haven't been around that long. They had incredible growth in 2024. This is really fascinating, this Real Brokerage, because in 2024, their focus was, their roadmap to success in 2024 was agent education and guidance. Meaning, hey, we just need to help our agents get through the turbulent times. We need to educate them. We need to keep empowering them and adding value so they can win. And that's going to attract people to our platform, and it worked. But they're doing a complete adjustment, a complete change for the roadmap in 2025. And it's certainly fascinating because what they're going to do to drive business in 2025, to drive recruiting, is that they're going to build what they call disruptive tools to empower their agents to exceed customer expectation. Part of those tools are making those tools directly available to the consumer. It's like they're building these AI. They're also building AI, real estate agent assistants. They're just doing a ton of stuff. But part of that strategy is really leveraging their ancillary services, specifically title and mortgage. Now, we've heard this for a gazillion years, how real estate companies were going to leverage a relationship, the primary relationship with the home buyer, to do mortgages, and it hasn't worked. It basically hasn't worked because mortgages are super complicated, and real estate companies have not been sophisticated enough to deliver that product in the past. But with technology, they may be able to deliver that product in the future, and they may not need that external loan officer as a partner to help deliver that product. Now the real brokerage already has a pretty healthy in-house mortgage company. They're going to really try to leverage that. They're going to try to incentivize their agents to use it. They're also, another thing, this is really fascinating. So the real brokerage is being highly strategic here. And we'll have to see whether the strategy wins. The next thing is they're building a tech platform, including mortgage, right, that can deliver those services directly to the consumer via text, not an app. And what they said is, look, we've thought about building an app, and we thought about building all these funnels and websites, all this stuff. But here's what we know. Over 80% of our agents' communication with their clients are through text. So what we need to do for all our services is be able to deliver a text to our clients, and from that they can just navigate to do an application, to get an approval, to lock their loan, whatever happens to be. So it's a very textual interface versus an app or online interface. Really interesting strategy, and they're super excited about that strategy, and we'll have to see how it works. And then lastly, better, it's kind of fun, not fun. It's been, we've had the opportunity to kind of, I don't know, fairly, unfairly, kick better around. They certainly have had a lot of challenge the last, couple of years, a lot of self-inflicted wounds, and it's hard to root for them. But, they're still alive, and, they were, I think, the fastest growing mortgage company by headcount growth in the industry. And they're making quite a few pivots, including, by the way, hiring Chad Smith, who has a blue chip resume. And of course, they brought on Neo recently, which is a very interesting move. Good, I think it's great for better. But they're, with Chad's a big mortgage tech guy, and he's building this huge platform. And they're always going to be a low cost provider. They're going to be, what Better is about is building wonderful funnels that give an overwhelmingly amount of leads, which in the past they haven't been able to actually work with or service because it's just out of control. But now Chad's going to build a really exquisite origination and fulfillment platform to match that. And one of the things, their big pivot at Better is, if you remember, the CEO had said, if you're paying your loan officer a commission, he or she is stealing from you. And he bragged about how he had low price, hourly paid, people in call centers. And that ended up failing, as we know. And there was quite a few other things that failed. And so the pivot now is they're actually recruiting really talented, experienced retail loan officers to try to help them convert, these leads and to change their brand. And of course, evidence of that is they hired Neo. And that Neo those guys are extremely talented. So really interesting pivot there. And the whole point is, we wake up every day and we read these articles like, oh my gosh, look at all these people that are just trying to come out and conquer us. Like please, let me get my feet in. Let me get my own place set. Every day I got to go out and battle. But here's the thing. As I said, competition makes us better. And all these changes are going to make us, better servants of our clients, which is good. It's going to let us deliver our passion, which is delivering the living the American dream of homeownership and creating wealth through real estate. All good. And so what do you do? If you're just, you're a traditional legacy loan officer at maybe a small IMB, what do you do? Well, let me just give you a high level. Here's the thing. First, control what you can control. Don't worry about what you can't control. You can control how good you are. You can control how your service is. You can control the advice you give. You can control the sales calls you make. You can control a lot. So just focus on what you can control. And then create a plan. Be aware of all the changes happening in the industry and get a strategic plan on how you're going to compete. right? And part of that is know your competition, because you can't compete if you don't know what they do. So know your competition, and then build a plan. Why are you better? Why are you more compelling? Why should I use? Build a plan, get better, but execute the plan to get better. Execute the plan to win. The third thing is, I'll just call this master your craft. What that means is, in today's world, you have to have an exquisite origination and fulfillment process. You need to just nut down every single contact with the client. Everything that happens in origination and in processing, fulfillment, it needs to be exquisite. If you stub your toe there, as Stratmore told us repeatedly in their CX platform, if you stub your toe there, that's where you lose the client. So you got to make sure that's just nailed down. And then with all things, as we compete against these low price providers and call centers and servicers and real estate companies, the thing that we do better, we do two things better than what our competition can do. And that is being human, slow down, foster relationships, serve people, care, be human, put a lot of human contact. Those other platforms don't have the ability to slow down and add the human touch. It's just like a machine, right? And the second thing that we can do better than our competition is provide wisdom. Wisdom's a little different than information or direction or content. It's how do you put it all together? Wisdom, right? And so use your wisdom to win in these new environments. I would say too, turbocharge your brand. Make sure you have a brand. Make sure you understand what it is. Like, what do you stand for? What are you transmitting to the world? And by the way, is that compelling? Does it resonate with your clients? And when you think about branding, you got to think, okay, branding is how do I behave? How do people see me? How do I show up? How do I treat other people? Where do I show up? Am I in my industry environment? Am I in my local markets? Am I online? All those things, you got to just turbocharge your brand so people can find you and know you and trust you before they talk to you. And then, of course, if we want to compete with all these, platforms, especially these high-tech platforms, we have to get dang good at using technology. Now, we don't have to have the best technology. We don't have to have all the technology. We don't have to be in an arms race with technology. But what we do have to do is master the technology that we have. We can't have, a 30% adoption or, 20-30% mastery over the technology we use. We have to have 100% mastery. And the technology we use, even if it's not the most advanced, needs to hum. It needs to 100% deliver all the things I've just talked about. So we need to have technology. And then, in the end, just deliver incomparable value. And that's that combination of human wisdom, having that great origination, fulfillment, all those things. Just start to design that, and you can win. Anybody can win. Any platform can win. It's the individual that makes a difference. So there's tons of opportunity. I love the opportunity to get better. Try not to get overwhelmed with all the competitors that come into the space and all the doomsdayer that are telling us all this negative stuff. I did a full write-up today in my LinkedIn, and I put a link to all three of these articles. So if you're interested, you can get it through my LinkedIn. I'm going to try to put them in the notes below. It may or may not let me put them all in the notes below. And you may or may not be able to access these HousingWire articles because they may be behind a paywall depending on how many articles you pulled and all sorts of circumstances. So you can get more of the details from my LinkedIn. And as always, if you want one of these articles and you can't get it, just ping me. I'm happy to help you. I hope you're having a great weekend. Tomorrow is book review day. I'm super looking forward to that. I'm locked and loaded. I hope you have a great Saturday, and I'll talk to you again soon.